Hey everybody, welcome back to the Magic Channel Card Tricks, and today we're going to talk about any card to any number. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. The Magic Channel Card Tricks is a place where you can learn beginning level tricks, beginning level magic tricks, whether it's cards, coins, rubber bands, pens, paper, you name it. We're going to teach you stuff that's super easy, that you can do right away with just a little bit of practice, and that you can fool your friends. You know, there's been a lot of discussion as of late about the ACAAN, the any card at any number. This is a trick that David Berglass made popular, and the premise is simple. A spectator calls out a card, right? Could be any card. Another spectator calls out a number, any between 1 and 52. The deck is handed to the spectator, they count down to the card, and it's there. It seems like a miracle. And there are lots of ways to do it. Lots of ways to do it, and usually some sort of compromise has to be made. I'm going to teach you an ACAAN that's super easy to do, that's just as good as any other, and it uses no math, no phones, and it doesn't use a special tuck case. So I'm going to do the trick exactly the way I would do it if you were here with me. All right? Okay. So I'm sure you're aware of a deck of cards, right? 52 cards, each one completely different, right? You got 4 suits, clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. And after a shuffled deck, any card could be at any position. There is an infinite amount of places any card could be. So I'm going to have you select a card in just a second, but we're going to do it in an original way. Rather than just have you shout out a card, because you're probably going to pick either the Ace of Spades or the Queen of Hearts, something common. I'm going to have you cut the deck and have you find a card. That way it's going to be something completely original, a card you never would have thought of. How's that sound? Okay? Cut the cards for me. They cut the card, and you're going to look at the card that you cut to, and then replace it. All right? Now, you know a card, but chances are you also know the position. I mean, roughly, you kind of know where the card is and where it isn't. Subconsciously, you kind of know a position that it could be. So we're going to change that. We're going to move your card to a place that it's never been. Can you do me a favor? Can you cut the cards again and complete the cut? So now you admit that card is in a brand new spot, right? And after one cut, maybe you might be a little, you might have a little idea of where it could be. Can you do me a favor? Can you either shallow cut or deep cut this time? So you went with a shallow cut, okay? So now you've got to admit that card is becoming more and more lost to you. It's somewhere in the deck, but its position now is getting a little hazy. You want to cut the cards again? All right, so after 3 cuts, you've got to admit that card could now be at any position, correct? It could be anywhere. So I want you to think about your card for a second in your mind. Think about it, and I want you to see it. Do you see it on the top, in the middle, or at the bottom? And I want you to think of a number that you would associate with that. A number between 1 and 52. Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 52.
Here's a number between 1 and 52. It's 13.
13. I'm going to hand you the deck, and I want you to count down to the 13th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There is the 13th card. You didn't stop at the Queen of Spades. You didn't stop at the 4 of Diamonds. You stopped at the 13th card, which was the Jack of Diamonds, I believe. That's your card. And how we accomplished this trick was using a force deck. Going through the cards, you can see a lot of the Jack of Diamonds. More specifically, we are using a Svengali deck. And the reason why we're using a Svengali deck is because it's readily available everywhere. It's probably even in the magic kit that you purchased. I've even seen it at the dollar store. But in a nutshell, a Svengali deck uses a single force card, which in my case is the Jack of Diamonds, and it puts it at every other position, always at an odd number. So my Jack of Diamonds is at 1 and 3 and 5, etc., going all the way down. Now, in the routine, I was very fortunate that Alexa called out 13, which is an odd number. That would ensure that no matter what odd number your spectator calls out, it'll be at that position, all right? And if you wanted to do the trick yourself, you would just grab your Svengali deck and do it right along with me in the presentation, because it doesn't matter where they cut, right? It doesn't matter where they cut. They're always going to cut to a force card, right? And when they are cutting the deck to do their losing the card, they're always going to move the deck back to a position where the force card is ready to go. So the only thing that you have to think about in the trick is the number. For instance, if they call out 12, which is an even number, you're going to deal 12 cards to the table and then show them the 13th card. Okay? That ensures that you get an odd card. If they call 13, then of course you're going to deal to the 13th card, right? So you just have, that's the only thing you have to think about. So if they call out 4, you're going to deal 1, 2, 3, 4 to the table and show the 5th, like that, okay? And you can still say that that's the 4th position. Whereas if they call out 5, you'll still deal out 4 and show the 5th card. Does that make sense? And when you're resetting, you're going to put your deck back together in reverse. Because you dealt them down to the table in reverse, you're going to do it in reverse. So the other thing is, in the trick, I said that the spectator could deal the cards, which means you need to control the number. All right? So they're going to take the deck, and then this is only if you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable dealing it and you feel like that's going to work better for you, then of course you can deal. But you can hand the cards to the spectator and have them deal. So when they say 6, you're going to say, okay, deal 6 cards to the table, because it's an even number, right? They'll deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you'll say, okay, take that next face down card and move it forward, right? And then you can show them, hey, you didn't select this card, you didn't select this card, you selected this card. And maybe that'll be the decider for you, okay? So let's say you're doing the trick and you say, call out a number, and they say 6. Well, you know that's an even number. So maybe you decide to deal the cards yourself at that point. Maybe you say, okay, every time they call it an even number, I'm going to deal it. So you deal 6 cards to the table. If they say an odd number, you say, okay, here, sure, take the cards. Maybe that's going to be the deciding factor for you, just to make it easier for yourself, okay? But either way, you should always hit a force card. The other way you can do this, and I was thinking about this, is to do it as a back and forth. So again, you could say, you're familiar with a deck of cards, right? 52 cards, correct? Okay. Number cards and picture cards, and there's black, there's red, clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. In a second, I'm going to have you select a card, but we're going to do it in a different way. Instead of having you call out a card, like Ace of Spades or Queen of Hearts, I'm just going to have you cut the deck. And then wherever you cut the deck, that's going to be your card, okay? So just do me a favor, cut the deck, and look at the card that you cut to. Great. Now, here's the thing. You know a card, but you also roughly know the position. I don't know the card, but I do roughly know the position, because I kind of watched you when you cut the cards. So I have a feeling that if I cut the cards myself, I could roughly come pretty close to where your card is. Do you agree? All right, so you know the card, I don't. Let's have you lose that card for me, all right? So do me a favor and cut the cards and complete the cut. So now you have to admit that card is in a new position, and maybe I still have an idea, but I think that idea is getting a little bit more foggy. Do me a favor and cut the cards again, and this time you can cut it shallow or cut it deep, all right? Now, 2 cuts, this deck is in a completely new arrangement, right? This arrangement has never been in existence before. Do me a favor and, yeah, cut it one more time. So you're gonna cut it right there. All right. So let me ask you a question. Do you still remember your card? You do, okay, good. Do you remember where it is in the deck? Well, of course not, because you've cut the deck 3 times. Do you think you have an inkling? Do you have an idea of where it could be? No? Okay. I think I do. I think I do. I think I've been watching every single time, and I think I have an idea. I think I can use my magician mind, and I think I can find your card. Do you think that'd be amazing? Do you do? Okay. So I'm going to give you the option one more time. You want to cut the cards, or you're going to leave them in the position that they're in? Oh, you're going to cut the cards one more time. You're going to make it hard for me. All right. So now you have to admit, after 4 cuts, your card is in a position, who knows, right? But I'm going to try to use my magician abilities, and I'm going to try to see if I can find your card. And I think your card is at the 11th position in this deck. I do. Do you think 11 sounds like a good number? Let's find out. Take the cards yourself, and with no funny business, deal down to the 11th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's the 11th card. Let's see if I came close. I mean, it's not there. It's not there. What do you think? Do you think it's there? It is. So this trick is different because in this trick, there's a back and forth. The spectator selects a card, and then you find it, which is typically what happens in a magic trick, right? In a normal magic trick, you would have a card selected, right? The spectator is going to move, and they're going to find one card. And then you're going to find it after it's supposedly lost. So this creates that same sensation. Of course, it's natural for the magician to find the card, right? But instead of just doing some sort of weird fancy cut and saying, oh, look, it came to the top, you're just going to have them try to lose it. So they have the feeling of that they shuffled it, right? And that you are tracking it somehow. And because you can always pick an odd number, right? You can always pick an odd number. Then you have the confidence to hand them the deck and have them deal down to that odd number. All right, so any card at any number, you're going to use a Svengali deck. You're going to have, you're going to show the backs, okay? If you feel confident while you're talking, you flash the faces, but then you scoop them up right away so they don't have time to look. You're going to have them cut the cards and select your force card. And then you're going to have them cut and assemble the deck 3 or 4 times. You'll then have them name a number between 1 and 52. If it's an even number, you will deal the even number to the table and show them the odd card. If they call out an odd number, again, you will deal the even number to the table and show them the odd card. If they call out an even number, perhaps you want to be the dealer. If they call out an odd number, you can be confident to hand them the deck and deal to their card. I hope that is a fun, easy, any card at any number that anybody can do with a deck of cards, with no math, no phone, no funny tuck cases, and no arguing. Have a great week, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, have you ever purchased a magic trick that they said was easy or for beginners, and when you opened it up, it was just a bunch of parts and some typed out instructions? Like, how are you supposed to figure out how to do a trick with instructions that are this small and there's just no detail, right? No video, no pictures. You're so disappointed. You wanted to learn how to do this trick. You thought it'd be fun, and then when you got it in the mail, you were sorely disappointed. I want to help you. This channel wants to help you. I have a whole playlist of instructional videos that'll walk you through my personal handling on these tricks plus many more. Now, obviously, you need to own the tricks, right? You need to own the tricks in order to perform them. You won't be able to do any of these tricks unless you actually own them. But another great way to use this channel is as a way to look at tricks that are available on the market and to decide whether those tricks are going to work for you. I purchase all of my tricks from penguinmagic.com. And so if you'd like access to that playlist, if you would like to see kind of behind the scenes and get my personal handling for these tricks plus many more, you can hit the join button down below and subscribe to this channel for only 99 cents a month. And as long as you're a subscriber, you'll have access to those videos plus any new ones I continue to make. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week.